The last thing on Sarah's mind was dying. Her little Honda Civic felt like a safe cocoon against the inky blackness pressing in through the windows. As she waited at a red light, Sarah noticed a large truck pull up beside her in the intersection. She could make out the hulking shape, but the fog obscured any details. When the light turned green, the truck remained motionless. Sarah gave it a few seconds before tapping her horn lightly. The Bronco's window rolled down with a mechanical groan. A rough voice called out, "You'd look better in my trunk, sweetheart." Sarah's blood turned to ice in her veins. She stomped on the gas pedal, her tires squealing as she blew through the red light. In her rearview mirror, she saw the menacing truck give chase, its bright headlights cutting through the fog like a pursuer from a horror film. Gripping the steering wheel tightly, Sarah took turn after turn, trying to lose her stalker in the maze of suburban streets. But the truck stayed relentlessly on her tail. She realized with dawning horror that it was toying with her, letting her panic and burn gas while it easily kept pace. With her fuel gauge dropping towards empty, Sarah finally pulled into a brightly lit gas station, hoping the public place would discourage any nefarious acts. As she leapt from her car, the truck lunged forward and two burly men wearing ski masks jumped out. One grabbed Sarah from behind in a chokehold, while the other produced a length of rope. "Like I said, you'll look real nice all trussed up in my trunk," the first man growled. As Sarah kicked and struggled, the smell of stale cigarettes and sweat overwhelmed her. She opened her mouth to scream, but a grimy hand clamped down over it like a vice. Using all her strength, Sarah bent forward and slammed her head backward, smashing into her captor's face. He cursed and staggered back, clutching a broken nose that gushed blood between his fingers. Sarah spun and ran, her only thought to get as far away as possible. The other man, still by the truck, raised a revolver and took aim. Sarah zagged just as the gunshot cracked through the night air. She raced around the side of the gas station's convenience store, searching frantically for any escape. A rusty blue van sat parked in the lot, its driver's side door ajar. Sarah threw herself inside just as her pursuers rounded the corner. With shaking hands, she fumbled with the ignition wires dangling from the steering column. The van's engine sputtered to life just as the two men reached the side door, their weapons raised menacingly. As Sarah hit the gas pedal, one of the men grabbed her by her hair and yanked hard. She kicked and screamed as the man dragged her back to his waiting Bronco. "Hush, now," the man said, his gravelly voice almost soothing. "I meant what I said, and I'm going to make you look better." Sarah squealed and screamed, no one hearing her cries for help, as the man hoisted her into the plastic-lined back of the Bronco. He duct-taped her hands together, then her feet, and finally, her mouth. Even the tears streaming down her face couldn't stop the tape from sticking. He closed the door and hopped into the driver's seat. Sarah didn't know how much time had passed, or where the men had taken her, but the Bronco came to a last stop. She whimpered as the two men leered at her from the open door. One of the men grabbed the hair on top of her head and jerked her head back. The other held a gleaming knife to her neck. "No last words," they said in unison.